Live.
All right, doesn't work since there's not video, but hey, everybody, welcome to Hump Day Hangouts. Today is the 23rd of January, 2019, and this is episode 220, rolling strong through 2019 with Semantic Mastery. So we got the whole crew here today. Going to go down the line, say hello, get caught up, and then we got some really cool announcements, some good stuff going on over the next few days and into next week. So we'll cover that, and then we will dive into the questions, and it looks like we got some good ones this week. So start on my left here. Chris, how you doing, man? We had video for you. What happened with you?
Doing good. What do you mean, what happened?
I don't see video anymore. Did you get shy? Or?
Started. Yeah, I got shy.
Okay.
Yeah, doing good here. Like lots of snow in Austria. Like if you love snow, it's perfect.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it in the summer. We'll see how it looks then.
Yeah, no snow then. Except the glaciers.
Excuse me. Hernan, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Excited for what's coming. Excited to be with you in FHL 2019. We're going to be hanging out there. So if you guys happen to be around, and just drop us a message, and we'll figure it out. Well, I guess we can grab a beer or something. But I'm pretty excited for what's coming. Lots of good stuff coming up for Semantic Mastery. So
yeah, definitely, Hernan. Good point. If anybody watching, anyone subscribers or your YouTube watcher, if you're in the Nashville area, just because you're there, or if you're going to be at Funnel Hacking Live, give us a shout, either on the event pages or contact us, let us know, and we'll try to meet up and say hello, grab some coffee or beer like Hernan said. Awesome. Marco, how you doing?
What's up, man? Busy. We got the new MGYB.co store coming up. That's being worked on as we speak. We've got new products that are waiting to be added. We've got oh no, I can't say what else we got coming. Sorry, we got some good shit coming, man. I mean, I'm really excited about all the stuff that we're going to be putting out to help people make money. So,
go ahead.
Rather than just keep talking, just go ahead.
I just want to back, but I got one because we already talked about it. I think it was last week or the week before, and I know Dan was asking us about it. But one of the first things we're really trying to push out quickly so we can get people help with this is to do a VA matching service where we're able to connect you with like two VAs who have gone through the screening process. They already have salary expectations. And again, they've gone through kind of a multi-point process, and it's people we would normally hire internally for either ourselves or MGYB, but then we're going to do a matching service through MGYB. So if that's something you're interested in, by all means, let us know on the page. It's good to see it. Make sure that's what you want. And if there's anything else that you think would be interesting with that, by all means, let us know. It's a service in development. So Bradley, how about yourself? How you doing?
I'm peachy. I'm glad to be here. We've got a webinar that we're hosting. Well, we got the mastermind webinar tomorrow. And I promised that I was going to do some training on YouTube ads for local video, so it's Google ads for YouTube or for video, but specifically for how to use Google ads to rank a local video in Google search, and also provide relevant and geo-targeted traffic, which is what helps it to rank in Google search, as well as a branding campaign, how to set up a branding campaign and remarketing. And I'm actually, I don't know if you've got the link ready or not, Adam, but we're opening that up for people because we've talked about it in bits and pieces on the Hump Day Hangouts for the last several years. People have asked about how to do it, and I've kind of explained it via voice, right, and conceptually, but never on a step-by-step like actual training. And so I've spent the entire day today, well, most of the day anyways, setting up the slides, the presentation for tomorrow. And I want to open that up for anybody that wants to attend. You have to pay for it because it's going to be a full 2. Sometimes mastermind webinars go even 3 hours. I'm going to try to get everything done in 2. But it starts at 3:30 p.m. tomorrow, and we're going to open that up for people to come that want to learn how I'm using Google Ads specifically for ranking videos in Google search, as well as for branding campaigns. And it's incredibly powerful, and it works crazy good, guys. And I just did another video for my local video production company. I've been doing, wholesale SEO services for their videos. So they go out and create videos for local businesses, but then they wholesale SEO services to me, which I provide, ranking services for those videos, and then they sell, mark that up for their customers. And so they actually make 150% more than what I make. In other words, I make $100 a month per keyword per video. They make 250. But the long story short is I just did another video for them about 2 weeks ago. And I did the normal SEO stuff that, syndication networks and things like that. And it got to page 2, but it was stuck on page 2 for over 2 weeks. And so for whatever reason, I hadn't set up the YouTube ad, the Google ad for it right away. I think I got sidetracked after uploading the video and all that to the channel. And I never ended up setting up that ad. Well, I had a calendar reminder to go take a look at that video and where it ranked, to see the performance of it, to see if it had ranked on page 1 yet, since it had been 2 weeks since I had uploaded it. And like I said, it was stuck on page 2. So I think Thursday last week, I set up a Google ad for it with $1 a day. So it's $30 per month. And I started driving relevant traffic to it. And with very geo-targeted traffic from what's called an in-market audience, which is incredibly powerful because that's a bucket of people that Google has determined are in market for a specific service. In this case, it was for auto repair services. And I set that up on Thursday, and lo and behold, yesterday I went and looked at it again, and boom, we're on page 1. So again, guys, the local video, ranking local videos with YouTube ads is incredibly powerful. It's super inexpensive to do. It's really easy to set up once you learn the process, and it works really well. Not only that, for just ranking the videos, guys, but you can actually produce relevant traffic for the client or for your client this way, and it works. You can get real leads from YouTube. And so I'm going to go in very in depth tomorrow. I'm going to try to get it done in 2 hours, but we'll likely go over that. And if anybody wants to attend, it's only $50, guys. So I would highly encourage you. If you're in the mastermind, you don't have to pay for it. You're going to get it anyways. But if you're not in the mastermind, you can attend it for $50, and I would encourage you to do so because it's really, really powerful. Oh, by the way, this same method that we're going to be talking about tomorrow can also be used for other things like jump-starting traffic into assets of whatever asset you have, website, GMB, anything you want. But we're not really going to be covering that in depth tomorrow, but you can take the same techniques and apply them for that purpose. So again, I would encourage you guys to be there tomorrow.
So are you saying if you were doing lead gen and you were using GMB assets, that maybe this would be a way to drive cheap targeted traffic?
Amen. And get them to rank.
Yeah, guys, join us. It's going to be a good webinar, and I know Bradley's even got some more stuff beyond that. But I mean, guaranteed that should pique anyone's interest, and the rest of it's just going to be more icing on that fucking awesome cake. Sorry, freaking cake. So, real quick too. Speaking of webinars, wanted to say we had Catherine Jones on earlier this week. That was an awesome webinar. She designed some awesome webinars, funnels. But more so than just designing them, she can teach people how to do it. So if you haven't watched it, if you didn't watch it live, if you haven't caught the replay, carve a little bit of time out. If you're into funnels, if your clients are using funnels, or if they're not and you want to offer this as a service or even get started using this is another great way to provide a lot of value to yourself or to clients or both and see a big ROI on that. So go check out that webinar. That was really kick butt. It was an awesome one. Thanks to Catherine for doing that. And then coming up next week, Marco, I think there's a deadline coming up on something, right, with the charity. Do you want to tell people about that?
Yeah, sure. It's I mean, we're going until the end of the month, and as we mentioned last week, the Rotary Club of Snoqualmie Valley, Washington, has agreed to match dollar for dollar any donation over $50. So 50 or more, you donate $50, it becomes 100. Donate $250, it becomes 500, and so on. Now, if you donate 500, you get 2 hours with me. I've said this before, and so now it's half. If you donate, well, now it would be 2,500 or more, right? Because it gets matched. Then you get a full business, full local. You choose. We go in local, whatever you want to kill, and I'll help you kill it. Those are the offers. So I would suggest that you take it because this. I mean, 2 hours with me is $2,400. $100 more gets you a local business.
Awesome.
Think about it. So yeah. It's great, and thanks to the Rotary Club for coming in and agreeing to match dollar for dollar, which is just fabulous, man. Oh, I will be posting the donation page, and we actually have a gallery now that we just put up of all the a bunch of images from last year, so you can see the community, the kids, kind of what's going on. Don't expect the pictures. We haven't had time to go in and say what each one is. Go in, look at the images. It's great stuff. You can see all of the stuff we're doing and some of the things that we have to deal with, man, which is it's just, some of it is horrible. But at any case, I'm posting it, guys. It's a worthwhile cause. Donate.
Yeah, thank you again to everyone who's done that. Really do appreciate it. Real quick, before we dive into all the great questions we've got today, just wanted to say, if you're watching us for the first time, thanks for watching. If you're catching the replay and you're on YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button, stay up to date with the Hump Day Hangouts, as well as all the other videos we put out. You can always come join us live at semanticmastery.com/HD questions. That's also where you can go to ask stuff early. You got a question on your head, boom, just go there, ask it. You can catch the replay later or come join us live like we do every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then where you want to get started with Semantic Mastery, this is a pretty common question. Start with the battle plan, all right? It's a way to get repeatable process for your SEO, for digital marketing. We got most of the answers you're going to need in there, as far as, how to rank a news site, what to do with an age site, how can you use press releases, tons of stuff in there. So just start there, battleplan.semanticmastery.com. All right. And once you've done that, if you're ready to take things up a few notches, you want to have a peer group, you want to be part of the mastermind, and you want to get a digital agency and build up that local digital agency presence and grow, scale, and make more money, come join us. Join us at mastermind.semanticmastery.com. Guys, got anything else before we get into it?
I'm ready.
All right.
Good. Go.
Well, let's do it then. All right. Paul William is up. Hey, guys, I keep missing the live event for one reason or another. Set an alarm clock, Paul. A calendar event. And for some reason, the Hump Day videos between episode 211 and 219 are not on YouTube. Well, I beg to differ, buddy. And I have to do this because I just have to demonstrate that that's not the case. Not to pick on you, but just to show you how you can find it, okay?
Also, quick shout out to Chris Greenhow. Thanks for putting the playlist on the page. If anybody wants to bookmark that, that's a great way to stay up to date. But Bradley's going to show you too. Yeah,
if you never need to navigate to it, just go to youtube.com/semantic mastery. Right there, that little that magnifying glass icon, guys. You guys all aware that means search. That's the channel search feature. So if you click into there and then just type in episode, what did he say? 211 to 219. So I'm just going to say episode 211, and I'm going to hit enter. And it comes right up. It's the very first one. And if I want to check for 212, guess what? Very first one. So they are indeed still on the channel. So again, guys, use the channel search if you can't find it through YouTube search. But if you wanted to, you could just do Hump Day Hangouts episode 211. And that's just standard YouTube search, guys, and boom, it's right up there. So my point is, you can find it any number of ways. So I don't know why you're saying it's not there, but it is indeed there. Okay, moving on. So if you have answered this question before, I apologize. I've been using IFTTT to republish posts from my WordPress blog, RSS onto my Blogger account. I was surprised to see only the article title appear on Blogger with no content. Yeah, I looked into Blogger content to find obscure div styles copied in from the WordPress page builder that Blogger could not read. As a result, Blogger is not publishing the article content. Any ideas how to work around this? Thanks in advance. Yeah, if you're using a special page builder type of WordPress theme or plugin, it may not be coded to where it will syndicate via RSS correctly. And again, it could just be that Blogger's block doesn't like the div tags that it's inserting and things like that. And I don't know how to help you on that one, because I know that I've had some funky syndication issues when I've used like Thrive Themes page builders and stuff for the blog posts. So I typically would switch back to using the native WordPress post function or feature, if that makes sense, specifically for that reason. Now, I know that might not be the answer you wanted to hear, Paul, and maybe one of my partners can provide some insight or some alternatives. But typically, like I said, I've used page builders before for building pages, but when it came to posts, I would experience similar issues that you're, talking about here, where it would cause funky, like either not syndication, or it would show some of the funky code that the page builders, built the page or the post with. So in other words, like it would syndicate the post, but there you would see like tags and, different kind of code snippets and such on the page. And so again, I learned that if I'm going to be syndicating posts, then I'm going to syndicate using the native WordPress editor instead of a page builder. Okay. So again, that's just the problem. That was my workaround for it. That may not be suitable for what you're trying to do, in which case I would say, unless one of my partners has an alternative, you may want to create a blog on a subdomain and use just the standard WordPress blog function. So guys, do you have any advice for him?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying in terms of creating a subdomain. Sometimes if you use like a custom coded template that looks really good and you want to keep it as it is, that's fine. But, there's always going to be, downsides to everything. Like on these cases, Blogger, then maybe some of the template will break, I don't know, Tumblr or WordPress or whatever. And that's completely normal. So, the best way, or the most, I would say, ubiquitous way of doing this would be to just install a 2011 or 2012 type of theme within a subdomain and going from there. That will be the most compatible way of doing this.
Marco?
No, I agree totally. I don't have a solution for this. Guys, again, I'm moving away from TLDs.
Amen.
I'm not messing with it, but my clients know I ain't messing with it. And you better pay me a whole lot more money than you're paying me if you want me to mess with a TLD. I'm in GMB. If you like it, fine. If you don't, then foo.
I agree with that. I'm not building a WordPress website unless a client demands it, at which case I'm charging a premium for that shit now, because I don't want to mess with WordPress anymore. At least if I don't have to, right? GMB is where it's at, man. I love the GMB websites because they're so easy to set up. It's just add text and links, and that's about it, and it works. So, but Paul, again, I would recommend, if it's okay to just run the blog from your main site, but don't use your page builder, either theme or plugin, but just use the standard WordPress. Again, I don't know exactly whether you're using a theme so that you may not have control over that, or if it's a plugin or what. My experience has been with like Thrive Themes, for example. Thrive Themes, they have plugins that will allow you to use either the native WordPress page creator or post editor, you know what I'm saying? Or you can actually use their page builder, right? Where you can, drag and drop elements and that kind of stuff. And in that case, the pages on the site are built with the page builder, but the posts on the site are published using the standard or native WordPress post function, right? So, and in that was the solution. Now, there's obviously going to be styling differences between your pages and posts if that's the case. If you're okay with that, just do that. If you're not okay with that, or if it's for a client and they don't want their posts to not be styled like the rest of their website, then I would recommend that you create a blog on either a subdomain or on a subdirectory of your main domain that you would do like what Hernan mentioned, which would be just to install WordPress specifically just for the blog, and then blog on that. That way, the blog would be like an external site. It'd still be connected to the domain, and because you could still put a blog link in your navigation bar to take people to the blog, but it wouldn't be the exact same site. So if there's some styling differences, if that makes sense, it would be a little bit more palatable for most clients, if that makes sense. Okay. So I wish I had a better answer for you for that, but you're right. Sometimes those page builders don't jive well or don't play nice with some of the syndication sites.
And Paul, just a little bit more on the POFU way and the semantic mastery way, which is, I know this is your blog and it doesn't solve your specific problem, but you could. And what I do is, when I say I don't build a WordPress, is I haven't hired anyone to build a WordPress site in I can't remember how long. Semantic Mastery way is, don't spend time doing that. You go and hire someone to do it for you, and then they better do it right. If you hire a VA, and the VA doesn't do it right, VA gets fired and you get another one. If you go to Upwork and they don't do it right, then you just go and you better come fix this. So either way, whether it's Upwork or however it is that you choose this, the way that we do it is we hire someone who knows more than we do to do the things that we don't want to do or that we can't do. And then we move on and we charge enough, right? So that we can pay all of these people that we need to have working on all of these things. That's POFU. That's the Semantic Mastery way. That's what everything that we do, what we build everything on is thinking about that. How can we get away from all of these things that we simply don't have time to do or don't want to do?
That's it.
So that's my advice to you, Paul. It's get someone who knows what they're doing to do this for you and fix it.
Yeah, because Paul, you're better off. I mean, I'm just gonna. I don't know whether this is for a client or what, but you're better off working on like developing content and things like that are gonna than trying to learn how to figure out like how to fix this. And guys, it's okay if you don't have the money to do that to hire somebody. Then it's everything either requires time or money or a combination of both, right? So if you don't have money, you have to devote the time to learn how to do it, right? If you don't have the time, then you have to pay money to have somebody do it for you. I'm in that boat now, right? I don't have a lot of time. So we do hire a lot of stuff out. But you got to do one or the other. And honestly, your time is probably better spent building your business, strategizing and that kind of stuff, finding new markets to target or whatever. You get what I'm saying. So that was a good question though, Paul. Liz says, I know this might sound dumb. No, it doesn't, Liz, I'm sure. But I keep hearing people say I should target long tail keywords, but I want to rank for a keyword like credit card rewards. Not really that. What exactly is a long tail keyword and why should I be targeting them? Well, one thing you could do, Liz, is go to Google and search what is a long tail keyword. And you can literally get all the information you would ever want to know about what a long tail keyword is, starting with the definition, right? But aside from that, a long tail keyword is just a variation of, or a longer version, a more specific version of a broader search query, right? So for example, credit card rewards. Now I'm not in that industry, so I really don't know what a longer tail, maybe credit card air travel rewards or air, I'm assuming air flight rewards or something like that. Yeah, I think that's
good. Like credit card, the best credit card rewards for blah, X, Y, and Z. Or, yeah.
So yeah, like credit card flight rewards. That would be a longer tailed version of credit card rewards because now that's very specific. Credit card Amazon rewards or credit card rewards for Amazon, right? That's a more long tail, more specific version of the broader search query credit card rewards, right? Credit card rewards is a long tail version of credit card or credit cards. Does that make sense? So let's put it into a perspective that I know a lot more about, right? So for example, like HVAC, right? Which is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning or whatever, right? That's what that stands for. But HVAC is a very broad category or term search query that has multiple levels or layers deeper than that, like HVAC, heating and air conditioning, heating repair, air conditioning repair, duct insulation. Those are all longer tailed keywords that are part or similar to HVAC. HVAC is a broader version of that type of a search query. Those just become more specific under that same category, that same vertical, so to speak, right? And so again, long tail keywords are great because typically for the most part, the longer tail keywords, so you go after longer keywords because those are keywords that have more buyer intent, right? If you considering, again, using the HVAC example, let's say somebody just does a search for HVAC. Well, that's a very, very broad search. That could be somebody just looking for what the HVAC acronym stands for, or a definition of HVAC, or a history, like maybe they're doing research, right? That's a very informational type query, right? It's not a very specific query it might have commercial intent, but it's very hard for anybody, Google, to determine if just searching HVAC has any commercial intent, right? Meaning like, are they looking to purchase something, right? Transact, right? Think about it. but looking for heater or furnace repair near me, or furnace repair Culpeper, Virginia, right? That's a much longer tailed version. It still falls under the HVAC category, but it's a very specific version. And now heater repair near me, or heater repair with a city appended to it, or city heater repair, right? That is a local intent search, or that's a local commercial intent search query, because that's somebody Google knows. Google recognizes that type of search query and knows that somebody is searching for a heater, an HVAC company near them, local to them, right? Or in the city that they provided as part of the search query. So my point is, that is a longer tailed version of the HVAC, and it has much higher commercial intent. There's much more buyer intent, right? And so that's a much better keyword to target when you're first starting out. So if credit card rewards, and I know that's not your actual keyword, but let's say that that's what you were going after, that's going to be a very, very difficult keyword to rank for, just like ranking for HVAC, right, would be very difficult to rank for, because again, there's no way for Google to, like, Google wouldn't localize those necessarily unless all this. My point is, you'd be competing for global or national term at that point. Whereas if you use the longer tail version, it doesn't mean you can't go after that. It just means that it's going to take a long time, and that's where silo structure comes in content marketing and having a content strategy where you target longer tail keywords, which you will likely get traction from a hell of a lot quicker with a lot less effort. And then you cumulatively target longer tail keywords to start generating traffic and establishing thematic relevance, right? Like a keyword theme that Google will recognize through your structure of your site and your content and all that other stuff, that you're ultimately trying to rank for credit card rewards, or in the example I've been using, the HVAC, right? But again, that's, you start with the longer tail stuff so that you can start getting some traction, start getting some traffic, start getting some conversions, whatever your conversion goal is. It might be to build an email list. It might be just build a remarketing or retargeting list. It might be for somebody to actually make a sale, like you do, to sell a product. It could be whatever your conversion goal is, but start with the longer tail keywords first, because you're going to get traction from that. And then you start to create these little streams of traffic, right? These trickles of traffic from these long tail keywords that start to accumulate, and cumulatively they start to push. And Network Empire had always called it keyword buoyancy, right? Because the top level term would be what you're ultimately striving for. And by ranking and getting traction for the longer tail terms, it starts to create buoyancy for that broader term and helps it to start to rise in the search engines as well.
If I may.
Great question, though, Liz. Go ahead.
Liz, if you don't want to go through all that shit, come get a keyword gig from MGYB.co, and we'll help you find everything under the sun. We'll categorize it for you. We'll set it up, questions and answers, long tails, the top level categories, everything that you need. We'll just set it up for you. And then you can concentrate on building content around what we give you. Simplify it. I love simple.
Okay, thanks. I was trying to get a head start on this, but let me just read it out. Justin says, for any applets that deal with any service publishing to WordPress, is it possible for me to have an applet that gets triggered by my YouTube channel uploading a video or an update in an RSS feed that will post to a WordPress.com blog and a self-hosted WordPress blog that I host myself? Yes, Justin. I can only seem to find one service for both of them. Yeah, easy, Justin, that you're right. The easy solution is create another IFTTT account, right? If you've got a recovery email that you're using for that Google account that you've already got connected to your primary IFTTT account, just create a second IFTTT account using your recovery email account, or just any other email account. Just create a new email account if you have to. Create a second IFTTT account, and then you go into the services, select WordPress, and then you still set up the same applet, right? So it would still be the same RSS feed or the same YouTube channel that triggers, but it triggers two IFTTT accounts. One publishing to your WordPress.com site, the other IFTTT account publishing to your self-hosted WordPress site. Very, very simple to do. All you just need to do is set up a second IFTTT account. Use the same applets, use the same trigger, Guys, you can have multiple IFTTT accounts connected to the same YouTube channel, triggered by the same YouTube channel, or triggered by the same RSS feed. There's no limitation to that. Okay. I.e., do I need to set up a set? Yes, that's exactly what I didn't even see that part of the question, but you got it. There you go. All right. Jordan says inherited a non-siloed site, data center facility architect. Oh, wow. Okay. That has 650 blogs on it. Must be blog posts. Okay. Traditionally, I like both hard and linked silo structures. So you mean physical, I'm assuming, which you see in the URL. However, the thought of categorizing each blog to category/title and in 301 redirecting all those gives me tired head. If you were me, would you just use Ultimate SEO Plus deep interlinking tool and just link the keywords as they occur on all those blogs to the appropriate service page when possible? Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a the beautiful thing about SEO Ultimate Plus especially is you can set like the frequency at which those keywords will link. So it's not like a just blanket every time a keyword appears that it's going to link to the same page. You can actually set frequencies and variations and things like that. So it's very, very powerful. So yeah, you can do that, Jordan. However, I would still recommend if you leave the permalink structure as, well, let me rephrase. Let me think about that. Okay, what I would say is I would still try to set up a silo structure, right, within the site. Now, if you leave the permalink structure as just category, or excuse me, just post name, I'm trying to think about it. It's been a long time since I've done that. See, my WordPress skills are a little rusty. I've been in the gym. I've been not doing WordPress sites now for several months. But WordPress is supposed to, if you move a post from one category to another, they're supposed to automatically redirect the URL. Now, I know that's not always the case. So what I mean by that is if you go in and you just edit a post to change the categories from one to another, WordPress is supposed to, by default, automatically create a redirect from the old category over to the new. If it's, especially if it's just the permalink structure, I believe, like the post name permalink structure, I mean. If you're using a category / post name permalink structure, then I don't think it does that automatically, but I'm not 100% sure. But in any case, I know that sometimes those automatic redirects just flat out don't work. So yeah, I mean, honestly, Jordan, the easiest way that I know how to do this is to extract. Just go pull your sitemap if you want, and then just copy and paste all the URLs from the sitemap into a spreadsheet. Then organize them via category, the way that you would have your silo structure set up on the site, right? So, for example, I would have a different sheet in the Google sheet, right? So in the workbook, either Excel workbook or Google workbook, Google Sheets workbook, I would have a different sheet for each silo, and I would just pull the URLs from all the extracted URLs from the sitemap, and I would just start, stacking them into the correct sheet for each silo, right? And that would be in column A or column A, right? So that would be your originating URL. Then I would go update all of the category structures and everything for the post, which I know sucks, man. I know it sucks, but you're going to get a hell of a lot more traction out of your site that way with a lot less off-page work needed, right? But once you recategorize everything, then all you got to do at that point is pull up that same sitemap again, which now the URLs are all going to be different, and extract them and go through that same process again that you did with collecting the correct URLs and putting them in the right sheet, each sheet being its own silo / category, right? And those new URLs would go in column B. And then you just use the Simple 301 Redirects plugin. There is a bulk add-on that's an add-on plugin that just you just install that after you've installed the Simple 301 Redirects plugin. And then you just upload the CSV file. That's it. Once you've uploaded the CSV file, now I think you have to combine them all into one sheet, but I would just separate them into sheets initially so that it made it easier. But then you just upload that with, again, the original URLs or old URLs in column A, and column B would be the new destination, the new URLs. And in that Simple 301 Redirects plugin will automatically create all those redirects for you. And again, I know that's still a bit manual, Jordan, but honestly, you're going to get so much better results from any off-page that you do if you have your site structured correctly, especially with 650 posts on it. You guys want to comment on that at all?
Yeah, I really do, because I was just talking to Jeffrey Smith yesterday, about his new plugin, and it's one of the things that really has me pumped up because it's almost ready to go. And Jordan, you're in our mastermind. Being a mastermind member has its privileges. Now, Jeffrey Smith is an on-page savant and one of the smartest people I ever met. Guys, it's good to surround yourself and to get to know and network, especially when people are way smarter than you, because it kind of rubs off, hopefully, or you can just reach out to them. And that's one of the things that I do now with something like this. Unless it's like it has to be done right now, go with what Bradley says, right? If it has to be done like right now, go ahead and do it that way. If not, give me some time so I can talk to Jeffrey. And then once I do, like, we can take this and make it a case study. Well, not a case study, but a test, right? To try to break the plugin. Because one of the things that it has an export CSV that you can then manipulate any way you want and then upload.
There you go.
And it's that simple. His plugin will take care of everything that we're talking about right now. So it all depends on your urgency. If you can wait, and as a mastermind member, I'm going to do this because 650 posts, we can try to break the plugin, and that's what he wants. We can try to break it and come back and so that they can fix any of the bugs that are there. So I think this is perfect for a trial. And I will reach out to Jeffrey and I'll ask him if when it's available, he'll and he's a really good guy. I'm sure that he will. Whether this can be tested with one of our mastermind members. Again, being in our mastermind has its privileges.
Here you go. Jim Rubel says, by the way, Jordan, welcome to Mastermind, man. It's been a long time coming. So we're glad to have you, buddy. All right, Jim says, going to post this in Facebook GMB group too, but thought it might be helpful for others outside of that group. I'm not quite understanding the application differences for the GMB Post Scheduler and the Briefcase plans inside MGYB. Well, they're not inside MGYB, but and I don't think Briefcase, I don't know, it's in beta, but I didn't know that was open for others yet, but whatever. I'll still answer your question. My immediate need is I have 4 separate GMB properties right now I'd like to auto post to. In other words, set up roughly 30 posts for each entity and let the poster run. Then do the same each month. 1 post per day, 5 days a week in each property. It seems that the $20 a month post scheduler program would work for now, but what or how is a Briefcase plan used in comparison? I guess I'm trying to be clear on advantages to each. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there's just for anybody that doesn't know, guys, I don't know if we should drop the links. We should drop the link for this post scheduler for sure. And this is the Briefcase beta. I didn't know that was available for everybody though. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to explain the differences here, guys. The auto poster or the post scheduler it's based upon the number of posts per month for that subscription level. So for example, the enterprise subscription level, and I'm just talking because those are the ones that I always purchase, was 500 posts per month. Okay. It was $200 a month. That gave me the maximum capacity of 500 scheduled posts per month. Well, that's okay, but the problem with that is I could only get, like, for GMB assets, I'm scheduling 1 post per day. For most everything that I do now, it's 1 post per day. So it's 30 to 31 posts per month. Let's just say 31 posts per month. Okay? So if you do the math, 31 posts per month, if you multiply that by 16, it comes out to 496. That means I could have an enterprise post scheduler account, subscription level, right? And I could only post to a maximum of 16 locations before I ran out of post credits for the month, right? I'd have 4 additional post credits left, right? It's 496. So I'd have 4 left. That's a problem for me because I have dozens and dozens and dozens of assets now, right? And so, and if you, I think if you do the math, like 500 divided by whatever the cost is, $200 a month or whatever, 200 divided by 500, that tells you exactly how much per post you're paying for. Does that make sense? Whereas with the GMB Briefcase, if you've got multiple locations, guys, and you're going to be doing this, you can see the number of GMB posts is unlimited. The restriction on the subscription level is based upon the number of locations added to the system, the number of GMB assets. Does that make sense? So the difference would be if you only have a couple of assets, a handful, I think you mentioned 4 in your question, And that's all you need. Go with the lower priced post scheduler if all you're going to be using it for is scheduling posts, right? The other part of this, though, like if you plan on scaling and expanding, though, adding additional locations, or for that business or any business, if you plan on growing your Google My Business assets out or doing more client work where you're going to be working on Google My Business assets, then I would recommend that you go with the Briefcase instead, because that's based on number of locations, not posts. Not only that, but there's all the additional things that the Briefcase offers, right? Which would be like being able to track and respond to the GMB reviews. There's alerts. There's GMB insights right inside the dashboard, so you don't have to actually log into the GMB profile, right? You can extract reporting and all kinds of stuff directly from the Briefcase, guys. It's going to speed your monthly maintenance and reporting functions, right? There's a lot of really cool things that you can do inside the Briefcase, right? There's also it's still in beta, guys, right now, but there is keyword rank tracking and maps pack ranking, and even maps pack rank tracking, even for service area businesses. Again, that's still in beta, so I'm having mixed results with the rank tracker right now. I'll be 100% honest, but it is in beta, guys. It's still being worked on. Okay. So everything's being updated. In fact, one of the things that we've been working on that just got updated, and I've got it on my list of to-dos this week to test, is the RSS feed from the GMB posts. In other words, the post scheduler, I think, does this too, but the Briefcase, I know for sure, offers an RSS feed for GMB posts, which now I'm going to be setting up a test in isolation of just syndicating GMB posts to a syndication network to see how much that moves a GMB asset in rankings, even though we talk about rankings not being 100% critical or necessary to get results. Everybody likes to see that, especially old SEOs, right? So again, all of this stuff is being tested, and I would recommend that you go with Briefcase if you plan on scaling, growing your business, adding additional locations and assets. But if not, if all you need is post scheduling and you want to keep your monthly commitment a little bit lower and you've only got a handful of assets, then you can go with this post scheduler. Hopefully that answered that question. Anybody want to comment on that?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Shripad, because he works his ass off.
Yes, he does.
I mean, I know that there's some guys in coding, and especially when you're trying to do something like this, where we're going through the Google API to keep everything clean, to keep Google happy. There's so many moving parts, and anytime Google updates, and Chris, you'll back me up on this, the API. I mean, you have to go back so that you can comply with whatever it is that they want. And, it's sometimes something small, and it's sometimes recoding just a whole bunch of work that you already did. So just a shout out to Shripad. Guys, you can reach out to him in our groups. I think he's in our mastermind. I think he's in local GMB Pro. And I think he's also in our free group. So, guys, tag him if you have any questions about this. And he's always there. He answers the questions. So again, Shripad, you rock, man.
Okay, good question here. He says, if I use a tool like Hangout Millionaire, this guy's been asking a ton of video questions, which is great. This is how you do it, man. Mayank, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. That's why I avoided it. But I know you keep coming and asking questions every week about video syndication and video SEO. And that's awesome, guys. That's how we've got members in the mastermind that just came every week, like Muhammad. I always use him as an example, who just asked questions on Hump Day Hangouts and built his business by getting answers from here, and I'm sure other places as well, but built his business to the point where he could come join the mastermind, all from these free Hump Day Hangouts, guys. So I appreciate you coming and asking questions every single week consistently about YouTube, SEO, and building your YouTube business, because I know eventually I expect to see your ass in the in the mastermind. Okay. Anyways, he says, if I use a tool like Hangout Millionaire to upload the same video to different YouTube channels, is that safe enough, or do they need to be separate YouTube accounts? Okay, it's a good question. However, remember what we talked about, within the past few webinars, Hump Day Hangouts, specifically about protecting yourself, right? And I mentioned before not to upload the same video, even though the file characteristics, right? The encoding and things like that, the time duration, all of that can be manipulated slightly to where Google thinks the same video is different, or YouTube thinks the same video is a different file. It's unique. You can do that, but the problem is if you upload the same video to the same channel, right? Meaning it has to be slightly different. The file has to be unique, or else YouTube will reject the upload as it starts to upload, right? But there are tools out there like video spinners and things like that that will change the encoding or whatever it does to make the file unique, multiple variations of the file, even though it's the same video. The problem with that is you can get away with it on the YouTube channel, but if a competitor or a manual reviewer decides that or discovers that, then they, a competitor can report the channel, which will, for spam, which will trigger a manual review, and your channel would get terminated, and you'd lose all of those video assets. Okay, you already knew that. We've talked about that. So the next question that you have now is, okay, I understand I can't upload the same video to the same channel, but what if I upload the same video to multiple channels, different channels, but under the same Google account? Well, that's better than uploading it to the same channel, because if any one channel gets flagged, it's not necessarily going to flag the other channel. However, if your Google account gets terminated for spamming, which is possible, then every single channel under that Google account will be lost. So that's why I recommend, guys, for these kind of these types of spam campaigns, that you mitigate your risk. You reduce it as much as possible by spreading your videos out on individual channels as much as possible. Now, I'm not saying if you have 100 videos and it's the same video that you need 100 YouTube channels. That would be ideal, but that's difficult to do. So maybe get 50 channels and put 2 videos on 50 channels, or get 25 channels and put 4 videos on 25 channels. Does that make sense? Because now if any one of your channels get terminated, you're only losing that number of videos on that one channel. You still have all the others. And if you have them in separate Google accounts, it's not going to affect the other Google accounts. However, if you have multiple channels suspended under one Google account, it's very possible that Google will terminate that Google account entirely, which means you'll lose everything. Which is why I don't recommend that, guys. You guys think about it. I know it seems like, guys, we play a cat and mouse game all the time with Google. The problem is if we always talk about eggs in baskets. If you put all your eggs in one basket, or you put all your eggs in 5 baskets, but you're carrying all 5 baskets with one arm, right, which would be the same as multiple channels under one Google account, and Google comes and smacks your arm, you're going to lose all those baskets. Or if Google takes your basket away, you've lost your entire business, right? So my idea is to take, if you've got 100 eggs, put 1 egg in 1 basket and have 100 baskets. Or, like I said, 2 eggs in 50 baskets. You get the point. My point is reduce your risk as much as possible. Make Google work for finding and eliminating all of your spam. Okay? All right, the second part of that was, can I or should I link multiple YouTube channels within the same niche to one syndication network? You could. However, once again, if you're using basically the same video over and over and over again, then that would be spamming your network, and your network properties will likely get terminated. Okay? So I would recommend that, it's okay if you're having multiple video YouTube channels syndicating to one network with variations of video. In other words, you've got unique content coming from each channel feeding into the same network. That would be okay. But if you're taking the example that we just mentioned, where let's say you're taking the same video and you're uploading it to, let's say, 25 channels, and now you've got 25 channels tied into and let's just say you took 5 channels and tied it into one syndication network, but all of those channels are basically syndicating the same type of video or the same video, then that's a problem, because your syndication network properties will be terminated for spam. Okay? Plus, the other part of that is, depending on what your frequency of publishing is, if you're publishing from a whole bunch of channels into one network, you could be over-publishing, and that could also flag your syndication networks for being terminated for spam. So again, guys, I know, think about, though, people want to take shortcuts because it's an enormous amount of work to reduce or eliminate. You can't totally eliminate, but to reduce your risk. It's a lot of work. I get that. People want to take shortcuts. But what's more work? Setting it up properly the first time, right? and reducing the potential of losing all of your business in its entirety in one fell swoop, or vast portions of your business. What takes more time? What is more efficient? Building everything right correctly the first time, or building everything and then having it taken from you and having to start over from scratch. Guys, I don't know about you, but that is one of the most discouraging things that can happen, is to put a shit ton of work into any project and then have it 100% completely taken from you, gone. Because then you have to start over from scratch, and it's fucking irritating, guys. I mean, it's like, that'll take the wind right out of your sails. You know what I mean? So to me, I'd rather spend the additional effort up front and create long-term assets, guys. I hate rework. I hate doing rework. That's why I don't like the churn and burn strategy, mass page builders and things like that. I stopped all that stuff because you were constantly reworking. It's a great question. Moving on. Next, one more question, please. I've been pitched softwares that translate YouTube videos, title and description to multiple languages. Can this really help in getting more traffic from our videos on YouTube? Well, we tried one of those for Semantic Mastery videos, because you guys know we've got thousands of videos on our channel. And so we tried that, and I don't think we saw any measurable results, or at least nothing that would warrant us to continue it. Like we canceled it we stopped having a VA do that for us within a few weeks. Adam, are you still on? Can you comment on that? Because you were kind of spearheading that.
Yeah, we didn't. We just had a run for a while, checked out, looked at the overall metrics and didn't see an increase in anything. So, I think it depends on the channel. I'm not going to go so far as to say it doesn't work, because I think it really does depend where your traffic's coming from, and it could help you. But in our case, we know where our traffic's coming from. We know where we're going and the people who are listening to us. So I think for us, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, it wasn't a good fit. It just, we didn't see any measurable results, anything that was worth paying the VA to do that. You know what I mean? So that's why we stopped doing it. I would just say test it. Honestly, I think you can get one of those tools cheap enough to where it's worth setting up a test. Okay. I can't, again, for us, it didn't really work well. But you may be in a different niche or industry or whatever where it would work. So I would just try it. Justin Hess again, he says, I just downloaded an IFTTT worksheet from you guys. Thanks. You're welcome. He says, in it, I see a few recipes, RSS to Blogger, WordPress, Tumblr. Those are tier 2 recipes. I'm not sure how these connect to my network as T2 versus T1. Okay, Justin, I can't answer that here because that's in Syndication Academy, which is paid training. However, you could go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Semantic Mastery, use the channel search feature, and maybe look up some of the search or the queries around multi-tiered syndication. Again, multi-tiered, T-I-E-R-E-D, syndication. Go to our channel and search for that, and I'm sure you can probably piece it all together from the videos you find publicly on our channel. That said, we also have full training for it inside of Syndication Academy. Very specific training on how to set everything up properly, because trust me, tier 2 syndications, or syndicating to a second tier network, is okay for YouTube channels. There's absolutely no footprint issues for YouTube channels if you're using the applets the way we set them up, right? So we specifically designed them after much testing for the most benefit and the least amount of potential trouble. And I know for a fact that syndication networks with the applets set up the way that we have them set up do not create a footprint for YouTube. Even if it does create a footprint, it doesn't matter, because all you're doing is publishing Google code. You're republishing Google. So there's no reason for it to cause any problems. However, multi-tiered syndication networks for blog syndication, there can be some problems, right? That can create serious problems if you don't set it up correctly, and if you're not using related content feeds and all this other stuff that we talk about in Syndication Academy. And again, I'm not going to cover that here in a public setting, but you can find all that out in Syndication Academy, as well as, like I said, if you go to our YouTube channel. Also, if you go to support.semanticmastery.com, we have a knowledge base, which is frequently asked questions. And I know for sure that that question's in our knowledge base for multi-tiered syndication network setup, and at least 2 or 3 different FAQs. There's several different posts about that. Okay, so again, if you want to try to piece it together from those, you can do it. Otherwise, just come join Syndication Network, even and learn it there. Well, what's up, Will? He says, Bradley, how do you rank your GMB for multiple keywords once you got it all verified and optimized? Is that done via post targeting a particular keyword then? Thanks. That's exactly it, Will. Target your keywords in your business description, Target your service descriptions if you have them. Not all businesses do, like the service menu, so to speak. And in your posts, right? Target, guys, it's funny. What I love about GMB is if you go to your insights report and you look at your search queries that brought activity, traffic to your maps listing, right? There's a search query report in GMB Insights, and you can select from the dropdown. It's by default, it shows the last month. But if you select a dropdown, you can look at the last quarter. And guys, what's really interesting is, first of all, at least in the industries, the niches that I'm in, you'll see that like 40 to 50% of all traffic is coming from near me keywords, which is fabulous, right? That's the mobile first algorithm at work right there, guys. But also, what's really interesting is and I don't know why this is, but if you extract, which you can just do a simple highlight all, click, drag, and highlight, and then copy, and then paste as plain text into a spreadsheet, you can extract all of those keywords from your search query report. And then you start posting with targeting those as the keywords. And for whatever reason, even though it's funny, those keywords are known to have brought traffic to your GMB or to your maps profile. Yet if you target them in posts, Google will start sending you more of more traffic for those keywords. It's incredible. I don't know why that is. It's like Google is giving you the keys to the kingdom. They're saying, hey, these keywords, these search queries brought you traffic. Go ahead and use them and we'll send you more traffic. And it works like gangbusters, guys. I don't know why that is. It's like, it might be one of those loopholes again that might be closed. So go check that out, Will. Lauren says, is it true that Google My Maps are not being indexed anymore? I have no idea. Marco?
No, I don't either. I've asked Dedia if he's had any trouble indexing them, because anyone who orders done for you done for you drive stack, that's part of it. It gets turned over to Dedia for indexing. So I've asked him the question. I don't have an answer today for you, Lauren. Come back next week and ask it. I should have an answer by then. But having said that, we don't care.
Yeah, I was just going to say, why do we care if it's indexed? So go ahead, Marco, continue.
No, that was it. We don't care because Google knows it's there. We're pushing power through. That's all we're doing.
That's it.
The only interest is it goes into Google's database. Google knows it's there. Google doesn't think it should rank, and that's fine. But everything else that we do to it is what we're interested in.
That's it, Lauren. And that's what I was just waiting for Marco to reply so that I could say, why do you care if it's indexed? Not to be a dick, just because honestly, I think there is way too much emphasis on stuff being indexed, guys. And this is a question we've been asked since we started Semantic Mastery and syndication networks and such, because not all syndication network posts will index, but it doesn't mean Google doesn't know they're there. And how do I know that to be fact? Well, if your main site, if your self-hosted website is connected to Search Console and you go into Search Console and you look at links to my site, you're going to see dozens or hundreds of WordPress.com links and Blogger.com and Tumblr and Delicious and Digo and all these things that are syndication networks that they're not indexed, but Google is aware that they're there. Link juice is flowing, guys. You understand? It doesn't matter whether it's indexed or not. I understand that sometimes having something indexed may produce a little bit more power, but we have even tested no index PBNs and saw it move the needle. We've been able to achieve results using no indexed files, sites, all kinds of stuff, guys, because Google knows it's there. Same thing, My Map. My Map, if Google knows it's there, what's Google's code? Google knows it's there. You can still benefit from it without it being indexed. And guys, in my opinion, having stuff like that not indexed is a bonus because it prevents prying eyes from figuring out what the hell you're doing, right? I'm just going to throw this something out there that I'm not going to go into details, but that's exactly why canonicals are so powerful. I'm going to move on. Lauren Crawford, again, she says, should I be building out the new Google sites as well or just classic? Same with linking. Marco, that's a question for you.
Sorry, I was talking into a muted mic. Both.
There you go. All right, guys, it's 5 o'clock, and I got to get my daughter for dinner tonight, so I'm going to scroll through the rest of these questions. If I see anything that absolutely has to be answered, I'll stick around for 5 more minutes. Other words, I'm going to move on. Or otherwise, I'm going to move on. Excuse me. What's up, Daniel? By the way, I want an update, Daniel, when you can. I'm not pushing you to do it this week, buddy, because I know we just talked 2 weeks ago on the webinar and mastermind, but I'm curious to see what kind of progress you're making. So if you can keep me posted in the mastermind community, that would be awesome. Wayne, we are working on that, actually. GMB is my retirement program. I agree with that, Greg. That's my point too, man. Guys, I am all in on this right now. 110%. So brand Twitter, then set up no, sorry, for brand. Yeah, for each brand, you would. Quit this house. You say when you use the RSS from the GMB poster, do you need to make the RSS applet for each account? Yeah, you would. I mean, for example, it's no different than setting up a syndication network for a website. It's zero difference. You're using the RSS2 applet. So for each syndication network, you're going to have to set up 15 applets, or however many properties are in your network. You're going to have to set up that many applets for that specific network for that specific location. That's the way it is. Would you ever use an affiliate company to drive leads to your GMB assets? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I would like clarification on that. I'm not going to be able to answer today. So I'll beta test the briefcase. Sounds great. Scott, please do. Again, I wasn't sure if that was allowed to. I know that we offered it to the POFU live attendees and I think the mastermind members, but I wasn't sure if it was allowed outside of there or like supposed to be promoted outside of there until after beta. But the cat's out of the bag now, so go check it out, Scott, and go check it out. Okay. All right, cool. We're done. Look at that. Not bad. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody being here. Do not forget, tomorrow is a mastermind webinar, which is open to anybody that wants to come join it for $50, guys. We're talking between 2 to 3 hours of content, high level training. You guys know how we do training at Semantic Mastery. You know how I get way too into the weeds, but I'm going to go through step by step with slides as well as live examples of how to set up YouTube ads for ranking local videos, as well as for branding and setting up remarketing campaigns inside of YouTube. And guys, I'm telling you, it's killer strategy. It works incredibly well, not just for video optimization and ranking, but also for driving traffic, stupid cheap traffic that works really well because you're buying traffic signals from Google, guys, which is freaking amazing. And again, it's only $50 unless you're in the mastermind, in which case it's free. Come join us tomorrow. Guys, you have any parting words before we get out of here?
Hopeful.
Damn right. I just got literally, that was funny, Bradley, as you were wrapping up, I just got a Zapier notification of a lead gen call.
Beautiful.
Good stuff.
Rock it out. All right, everybody. See y'all tomorrow. Hopefully. See y'all.
See ya.